Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, captivated the silver screen with his magnetic charm and rugged masculinity, yet his life ended in unforeseen tragedy. The devastating loss of his beloved wife, Carole Lombard, in a 1942 plane crash left an unhealable wound, casting him into years of darkness. Journey with us through the life of a legend where radiant stardom faded amid unrelenting sorrow. Clark Gable suffers fatal heart attack at 59. Clark Gable's life ended in a simple hospital room, nowhere near the glamorous film sets where he had fascinated audiences for decades. The legendary actor's health took a turn for the worse on November 5, 1960. He suffered a serious heart attack while changing a tire on his Jeep. This heart attack started a chain of medical complications that ended up taking his life. Clark Gable seemed to be getting better from his first heart attack at Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital on the evening of November 16, 1960. The 59-year-old actor had spent 10 days in the hospital and showed signs of improvement. He had dinner with his wife Kay that day. She hadn't left the hospital since his admission. Everything changed around 11 p.m. B.J. Caldwell, the hospital administrator, later explained that Gable appeared to be doing fine until suddenly he put his head back on the pillow and that was it. Only a private duty nurse was in the room when the actor had what doctors believed was another heart attack. Dr. Fred Serini, Gable's personal physician, hurried to his room in a matter of minutes, but couldn't save him. The medical team tried everything to revive the star without success. Doctors listed coronary thrombosis as the official cause of death. The King of Hollywood was declared dead at 11 p.m., bringing his remarkable 30-year career in movies to an end. Kay slept in a room across the hall, unaware of her husband's death until hospital staff broke the news. Hospital administrator B.J. Caldwell told the press that it was assumed that another heart attack took the actor's life. The medical team noticed Gable's condition deteriorated faster in those final moments. The medical team later revealed that Gable was recovering from one heart attack when a second blood clot took his life in a matter of seconds. His heart tissue had started healing well after the first attack. He had responded well to blood-thinning medications meant to prevent more cardiac problems. These treatments weren't enough to save him. Medical care in 1960 had its limits. During his 10-day hospital stay, doctors treated him with bed rest, oxygen, blood thinners, and sedatives. Modern treatments like CPR, defibrillators, and cardiac monitoring weren't standard practice back then. Gable died just before major breakthroughs in heart care. The medical community started developing specialized coronary care units shortly after his death. A 1963 JAMA paper mentioned Gable's case without naming him, noting that even with optimum care and smooth convalescence, recovery was not assured. The hospital shared that Mrs. Gable was bearing up reasonably well from the shock. Movie industry leaders paid tribute to the fallen star. MGM's vice president of production, Saul Sigel, said, "Clark Gable always will remain in the hearts of those who were associated with him for so many memorable years at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. He was, without question, one of the greatest stars the motion picture industry has produced." Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's President Joseph R. Vogel shared these words. "The death of Clark Gable is a deep and personal loss to the legions of friends and admirers he made during his long and successful association with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer." Newspapers across America ran a simple yet powerful headline, "The King is Dead." Gable's death marked Hollywood's end of an era and left his worldwide fans heartbroken. Clark Gable anticipates fatherhood before death. Clark Gable received life-changing news in the summer of 1960. His fifth wife, Kay, was pregnant. The 59-year-old Hollywood legend looked forward to becoming a father with incredible joy. The actor's preparation showed how much he cared about his unborn child. He found an antique crib in a second-hand store 4 months before his death. The solid maple crib with 4 posts was over 120 years old, a special treasure he picked out himself for the baby. His personal involvement showed how much he wanted to welcome his child. Gable had clear ideas about his son's future identity even before birth. He asked that his son not be named Clark Gable Jr., saying he wanted the boy to be known for what he is as a boy and a man, and not as Clark Gable Jr. This showed how much he wanted his child to create his own path without his father's fame weighing him down. Kay later shared, "Clark loved this place and was never completely relaxed anywhere else. speaking about their ranch home where they planned to raise their child. He turned down all offers to sell the property, telling Kay that he never wanted to sell the ranch at all. The ranch meant more than just a home, it represented the family life he could see ahead. Gable focused more on family as Kay's pregnancy moved along. Kay found comfort in his plans during her grief, saying, "I will have Clark's baby and I will take care of Clark's home, and I will see to it that it is never anything but a house full of happiness." She knew exactly what becoming a father meant to him. Gable planned to step away from Hollywood after finishing The Misfits. The movie's physical demands had worn him down, making his need for rest and family time more important. Kay later promised, "I will have Clark's baby and I will take care of Clark's home," staying true to their planned future together. Her words captured their shared dreams for life after The Misfits finished filming. Unfortunately, fate stepped in before Gable could experience fatherhood. A heart attack took his life on November 16, 1960. Kay was only 6 months pregnant with their son. The timing made everything more tragic. Gable died just as he was shifting his focus from career to family. Kay gave birth to John Clark Gable on March 20, 1961, 4 months after Gable's death, in the same hospital where his father had passed away. The baby looked so much like his famous father that many of Gable's spiritually devout fans cried that the resemblance was a sign, it was an omen of things to come. John Clark Gable entered a world still grieving his father. Gable never saw his final film or held his son. The King of Hollywood missed what could have been his most important role, being father to his only legitimate child. Kay stayed true to Clark's wishes for their son. She made sure the boy learned about his father while developing his own identity. "He will know before very long just who he is," she said, carefully balancing Gable's legacy with their son's need to grow into his own person. The Misfits becomes Clark Gable's final film. Clark Gable completed filming The Misfits just weeks before his fatal heart attack. This poignant finale marked the end of his illustrious career. John Huston directed the film from Arthur Miller's script, which brought together Gable, Marilyn Monroe, and Montgomery Clift in what became a legendary but troubled production. The grueling conditions of The Misfits took a heavy toll on the 59-year-old actor's health. The crew worked through extreme heat in remote Nevada desert locations during summer 1960. Temperatures soared above 100 degrees regularly. Gable refused to use a double and performed many dangerous stunts during the famous Mustang roping sequence despite the physical strain. "I'm glad this picture's finished. She damn near finished me," he told a friend after an exhausting day on set. His commitment to authenticity went beyond normal acting expectations. He insisted on dragging horses through the desert himself, instead of letting younger stand-ins take over. This stubborn pride showed his dedication, but strained his aging body severely. The shoot itself proved brutal. The cast and crew spent 48 days in Nevada's scorching Dayton and Pyramid Lake regions. They faced not just extreme heat, but also isolation and basic living conditions. Heat exhaustion struck several team members, yet Gable kept going without a word of complaint. The physical demands caused Gable to lose 35 pounds during filming. This dramatic weight loss, combined with his heavy smoking habit, 2 to 3 packs daily, created dangerous conditions for heart problems. The physical challenges weren't the only problems on set. Marilyn Monroe struggled with personal issues and her crumbling marriage to screenwriter Arthur Miller. She often showed up late or missed entire shooting days. Her unpredictable behavior forced constant schedule changes and created uncertainty for everyone involved. Montgomery Clift brought his own set of challenges. He battled substance abuse issues after surviving a near-fatal car accident years before. John Huston later admitted that managing these troubled stars made this production especially difficult. Huston's intense directing style added more pressure to an already stressful environment. A crew member described the atmosphere as tense but creative. The director's drive for perfection meant multiple takes of physically demanding scenes, which pushed Gable's endurance to its limits. Gable suffered his first heart attack while changing a tire at home, just 12 days after filming ended. Many crew members later connected his intense physical work during filming to his health collapse. His doctor specifically pointed to the physical strain of the picture as a likely factor in his heart condition. The Misfits became more than just another film after Gable's death. It transformed into a cultural touchstone, the final performance of Hollywood royalty. The movie's February 1961 release carried extra weight as audiences watched, knowing this was Gable's last screen appearance. Bosley Crowther captured this sentiment perfectly in his New York Times review. "There is something haunting in watching Mr. Gable in this last performance, something that has nothing to do with the role. Hollywood mourns the loss of its king." News of Clark Gable's death shook the world on November 16, 1960. His passing created unprecedented grief throughout the entertainment industry and touched millions of fans. Newspapers worldwide ran simple headlines stating "The King is dead," showing his unique place in cinema history. Tributes flowed from colleagues and co-stars who had worked with Gable during his distinguished career. Gary Cooper spoke from London about his admiration. "All of us were proud to know him. He had a fine career and he did well with his life." Cooper's words reflected Hollywood's deep respect for Gable. Sophia Loren, Gable's co-star in his final film, responded from Madrid with raw emotion. "I'm so shocked I can hardly breathe. This is terrible." John Wayne added his voice from Paris, calling Gable one who brought stature to our industry. "Grief at his death will be universal." Gone with the Wind co-star Vivien Leigh shared her deep sorrow. "I heard the terrible news this morning and I was sadder than I can tell." Hollywood united in grief they had lost someone irreplaceable. Eddie Fisher spoke from London. "Gable was the king of Hollywood. It will be sad news for people all over the world." He mentioned they hadn't yet told his ailing wife, Elizabeth Taylor, about Gable's passing. Director John Huston captured Gable's essence. "He is not a man, he's an institution." Producer David O. Selznick agreed. "I do not know of any actor who could have played Rhett Butler as well as he did. He had that God-given gift, a theatrical personality." Colleagues remembered how Gable stood alone and apart from a community populated with inflated egos, yet remained much beloved by those who knew him. He had no enemies. His rare ability to combine star power with humility led to genuine grief that struck a chord throughout Hollywood. Private funeral services took place at 9 a.m. on Saturday, November 19, 1960, at the Church of the Recessional at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale. Respecting Gable's wishes, the ceremony included only family and close personal friends. Jimmy Stewart, Spencer Tracy, and Robert Taylor served as pallbearers. Director Frank Capra, Arthur Miller, and actress Norma Shearer attended the service. Kay Gable came with her face covered by a black veil. She emerged briefly afterward while photographers captured the solemn moment respectfully. The service honored Gable's desire for simplicity and dignity. He used to say, "If anything ever happens to me, don't let them make a circus out of it." The ceremony included military honors with a color guard from March Field Air Force Base, acknowledging his World War II service. Forest Lawn officials kept tight security during the ceremony. Stickers were issued for windshields, and only guests and properly identified press representatives were allowed. This ensured the privacy Gable would have wanted. Kay Gable chose to lay her husband to rest in the Great Mausoleum at Forest Lawn, right beside his third wife, Carole Lombard. This choice fulfilled Gable's wish to rest next to Lombard, who died in a 1942 plane crash while returning from a war bond tour. Friends noted, Clark was buried at Forest Lawn Cemetery at his request, next to his late wife, Carole Lombard. Early life struggles and career beginnings. Gable's childhood took a tragic turn when his mother died before he reached 10 months of age. His father, an oil well driller, and later his stepmother, Jenny Dunlap, raised him. Young Gable's interests grew in two directions. His father pushed him to do masculine activities like hunting and physical work, and he learned to fix cars. His stepmother's influence sparked his love for music and literature. He quit high school at 16 and found work at Firestone Tire and Rubber Company in Akron. A performance of The Bird of Paradise sparked his acting dreams at 17, but several years passed before he could chase this passion. A modest inheritance of $300 at 21 helped Gable start his acting experience. Before this, he worked with his father in Oklahoma's oil fields as a wildcatter and sludge remover. He took odd jobs across the Pacific Northwest with traveling tent shows and lumber mills. He even sold neckties in Portland to make ends meet. Gable's life changed in Portland, Oregon, where he met Josephine Dillon, a theater manager 17 years older than him. She saw his raw talent beneath the rough edges and became his dedicated acting coach and mentor. Dillon's work with Gable was thorough, She paid to fix his teeth and style his hair. She helped build up his chronically undernourished body and improved his posture and movement. She worked hard to lower his naturally high-pitched voice. A fellow actor noted, athletic men like Dempsey and Weissmuller have high voices. Their professional bond turned romantic, leading to marriage in December 1924. The couple moved to Los Angeles where Dylan opened her acting school. Her connections and continued guidance helped secure his early roles and launch the career of the future Clark Gable. Clark Gable's legacy spans decades of stardom. Clark Gable spent 37 years in Hollywood and became more than a movie star. His work still engages audiences today, decades after his death. Gable's career has over 60 motion pictures from the silent era through Hollywood's golden age. It Happened One Night in 1934 launched him to stardom and earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor. This Frank Capra romantic comedy made history when it won all 5 major Academy Awards. His role as Rhett Butler in 1939 Gone with the Wind stands as his most memorable performance. He delivered the unforgettable line, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," now one of cinema's most iconic moments. The film earned Gable his 3rd Oscar nomination. Many stars' popularity faded, but Gable managed to keep his box office appeal for 4 decades. MGM's most reliable male star earned the nickname The King from Spencer Tracy, a title that stayed with him throughout his career. Gable's chemistry with leading ladies became legendary. He and Joan Crawford created magic in 8 films, making them one of Hollywood's most successful screen pairs. His 6 films with Jean Harlow sparkled with flirtatious banter that audiences loved. Through collaboration with Vivien Leigh in Gone with the Wind they maybe created film history's most memorable on-screen couple. Later, he starred with Ava Gardner in 3 films, while his work with Mina Loy showed his talent in both comedies and dramas. Gable showed his lasting screen presence in his final film, The Misfits opposite Marilyn Monroe. The physically demanding conditions might have led to his heart attack. His appeal surpassed generations because he brought an available masculinity, straightforward, unpretentious, and relatable. While other stars projected sophisticated urbanity, Gable's rugged authenticity appealed to audiences. His legacy lives on through film retrospectives, merchandise, and cultural references that cement his place in Hollywood history.